Hi everybody, Matt DiFilippo here with the Morning Sentinel and Kennebec Journal, here to talk playoff field hockey. This is our playoff preview, and boy, let's start with Eastern. Hey, boys, things got pretty interesting there at the end of the season. Skowhegan and Lawrence both had off games, and but if you look at that, I'll get on the soapbox here for a little bit. They're entitled. I mean, they had amazing seasons. Every team has an off game. I think those teams are both going to come back strong in the playoffs. Skowhegan was able to secure that #1 seed. They'll be facing Bangor in the quarterfinals. They beat Bangor 5-0 in the regular season. Then #2 is Lawrence. They'll be facing Edward Little, a team they also handled pretty well in the regular season. #3 is Messalonsky. They've got Oxford Hills. That was a 1-0 game, but that was also down at Oxford Hills. Little different dynamic than up at Messalonsky in Oakland. Messalonsky's also coming off its best performance this season. They look absolutely fantastic in their regular season finale when they beat Skowhegan 4-2. And then the 4-5 game, that should be a great matchup. Mount Blue's playing Coney up in Farmington. They played during the regular season in Augusta. Mount Blue won 2-1. But that was a game that Coney star Erica Brochu missed most of the second half, and the game actually went to double overtime. She didn't play in either overtime. Mount Blue was able to pull that game out. Both teams are really coming on strong at the end of the season. Coney, struggled a little bit against Skowhegan, but they came back with that great win against Lawrence on Tuesday. So I look for a great matchup there as well. Then you look at Eastern B. Gardner's the #1 seed, and they have one loss and one tie, and both those actually were to Class C teams. They lost to Winslow 2-1, and they tied Mount View 2-2. Gardner's going to be playing Erskine in the first round. They met during the regular season. Gardner won that game 1-0. Believe that was in South China. So that should be maybe an interesting matchup. Even though there's a little disparity in the records, you look at that 1-0 score, and there could be some interesting matchups there. Gardner had a real strong season. They led the Eastern B with 48 goals, just ahead of Belfast with 47. And Gardner had a showdown with Spruce Mountain the last game of the regular season, and they handled them pretty well. They're down 1-0 and 1-1 at the half, and then they came out and really took control in the second half and won that game 5-1. In Western C, Oak Hill's going to have either Mountain Valley or Wells, depends on who wins the prelim. Oak Hill's 13-0-1. That's a team that's really been building for the last few years. They're a tough team. They play good defense, and they control the ball a lot. They've got an amazing offense led by players like Haley Marshall and Kayla Vayu and Kylie Vayu and Sadie Goulet. They're going to be a real tough team in Western C. You look at Eastern C, the 4-5 matchup, that's a rematch of a game that was played just last Tuesday, or this Tuesday. MCI beat Mount View 2-0, and really happy to see MCI get such a high seed, because that's a team that's putting a lot of work during the off season the last few years, and it's really starting to show. They went 9-5 this season. They'll be playing at Mount View, who's the #4 seed. That's a team. They've got obviously Rihanna Boulay and Kiersey Boulay, and Dinah Bilodeau, a real great goalie. They're going to be tough. That's going to be a tough team to beat 2 times in a row, but I think that's going to be a good matchup as well. And finally for Eastern C, Winthrop is the #6 seed. They come in with a record of 7-4-3. They'll be playing Foxcroft, who's 13-1. Foxcroft allowed 5 goals all season, and 4 of those were to Dexter. And then they beat Dexter in the rematch. So Winthrop's going to have to win a low-scoring game, though, but that's a team that's defied expectations all season and last season, so don't count them out. And then we've got Winslow, who's the #1 seed. They'll be facing either Madnock or Grabuske in the quarterfinals. Winslow's had a real great season, so let's talk to their coach and one of their players and find out why.
Can you start? Yeah. Okay.
Don't make me cheat the camera.
Okay, let's have, same setup as yesterday, and we'll place people, so...
They've been passing well with each other, working on that part of our game, really cutting to the ball, looking for the open people. And also defensively, we worked well team-wise, working together to defend, double team, circle back, support each other, so that has been working very well.
And obviously you had a tough preseason schedule. You faced Skowhegan a couple times, some other tough teams. Do you think that helped you during the season?
I do. I think playing teams of that caliber gets you ready for the regular season. And also I think it gets girls up for that level of play, so they're mentally ready.
And you're used to playing 2-3 games a week, and now you've got a pretty long layoff. What are you going to do with that layoff?
What we're doing is we're practicing here at Thomas, as you can see behind me, as they're warming up and I'm being interviewed. But we're practicing here at Thomas. We're going to probably try to get a few more turf times in, as well as we've talked about scrimmaging some teams, so we're going to see what is out there and time-wise what we can do.
And obviously, defense is one of your strengths as a team, and you've got a lot of people who have played together a lot. Does that help during the game?
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like we know where we are, and like we know like where to pass, and like how each of us play. So like we know what to expect from each other.
And being a senior this year, is it a different mentality for you personally going into playoffs than last year as a junior? Or?
No, I just always feel intense, and like I always try to, I don't know, like step up to the occasion, because playoffs is kind of a lot of pressure. But I don't know, no, it doesn't feel any different. I guess I feel a little bit more of a leadership role this year, just because I'm a senior and I feel like I have to make a good example for the younger kids.
And I mean, you're practicing on turf tonight. I mean, you've had some chances to play on turf, and if you get far enough, you'll have some more chances. Do you like playing on turf?
Yeah, I love playing on turf. I like playing on turf with this team too, because we're really fast, and I think it's an advantage for us. Yeah.
Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us here at Thomas College. We'll have field hockey coverage all throughout the playoffs and back here at Thomas College for the state game on November 1st, all the way through in the Morning Sentinel and Kennebec Journal and online at centralmaine.com.